Hi, my name's Bernadette here. From Bridgeview Church. I've been coming here for the last couple of years, and I have to say I've seen God move in so many, many ways. I've witnessed so many testimonies, and the testimony that we want to show today is a friend of mine, Alan, from Lighthouse Church in Macrofelt. And about 3 months ago, we were going to see a gospel band, and we had just started, the worship had started, and Alan was feeling unwell, so he had to sit down. And we'll just show you this video and this testimony, and you can see for yourself the goodness of God. And I believe that night that I was meant to be there, because I wasn't actually going to go, and then I just thought, yeah, I'll go. So I was glad I was there to be in, to share this testimony and to see the goodness of God and how He can just move and move so quick. And Alan couldn't have been in any better place that night. He's fantabulous. He's brilliant, so he is. He's absolutely amazing. And that's another testimony that God sent him into my life a couple of years ago. And he said to me one day, he says, you lost a brother, so God sent you another. And he has definitely proven that. He's just my right-hand man at all times. And we're in contact every day. And he's just such a good person to everybody that I know. And I thank God for him every day.
I just want to say something quickly about when we went to the Methodist Church and God's provision. So we went to you've heard some God's provision to get us there, but when we were there, we were singing, and a man collapsed, and I saw, and anybody else in here that's a nurse, you just drop what you're doing and you go over. And it's not about me. I did not save this man's life. It was God's provision. First of all, Andy and his friends there started praying for this man. And by the time I got to him, they had lowered him down to the floor, and we put him in a recovery position over on his side. We don't really need to see that picture. I mean, it's not about me. And so I was checking for a pulse, and I couldn't find one. And so I checked up here, and I couldn't find one. And about that time, he started shaking. He turned completely gray. Now, I'm a long time ago nurse. Like, I'm a long-standing nurse. I've seen some dead people. I've seen dead people. This man was dead. He did a shake. He was gray, blue-gray. He was gone. I couldn't find a pulse at all. And about that time, copious amounts of blood came out of his mouth and his lungs, all over the floor. Huge, huge puddle. And this man was dead. And I thought, well, okay, I'm about to do some CPR. And it was okay, because I was ready for it. I was ready for it. But I didn't have to do that, because in a matter of a very short time, the man who was still on his side rose up and looked me right in the face. It's not a joke. Looked me right in the face. He had the most clear, crystal blue eyes I've ever seen in my life. Looked me right in the face. And I didn't move, because I thought, you ever heard a story about Lazarus? So, because I watch BritBox and a lot of British shows, I said, someone called 999. That's the 911. They had already done that, and then I heard, it's probably going to be 3 hours or more before they're here, and I thought, are you kidding? Yes, that's socialized medicine. Be careful what you vote for.
It's also only 2 blocks from the church.
Yeah. So still 3 hours or more before they get there. But then this man, he rises up right here in my face, and I'm just looking at him in complete and utter shock, because this man, I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. This man was dead. Raises up. Then he starts sweating profusely. And I reach over and I start unbuttoning his shirt. And all I could think of to say was, I promise I'm not a weirdo American trying to take your clothes off.
I'm a nurse.
And it was about that time he went and kind of shook out of probably a shock that he was in. Anyway, he didn't have any more episodes after that. He was not feeling well. But God's provision, I saw Lazarus. And probably within maybe 15, 20 minutes, the paramedics walk in. And I was like, wow, that was quick. It's not 3 hours. They said, yeah, it was weird. We had a call, and then it was canceled. And it was right around the corner. I was like, oh, God's provision. So when God wants you to do something, he wants you to do it. And he's going to make the way when you think that you can't make the way. Again, I don't share that story because it had anything to do with me. I was just simply somebody else that was there that had his head in my lap. But when God calls you to do something, listen to what he's calling you to do. It may scare you to death. I didn't know what was going to happen to that man. It may scare you to death, but you've got to listen and you got to go. God made his provisions from the get-go, and he made a provision right in front of our eyes. And it's a story that I will never, ever, ever forget. In fact, I've already told it to one of my students this week.
And on Sunday, he was back in the men's
Yeah.
Bible study.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And on Sunday, what day was that we went? Thursday. By Sunday, he was already back at church. Had already been discharged from the hospital. And Andy had sent me a text, and he said, just want to let you know, these are Alan's words. When you have to go to the maker's garage, you leave much better than you were when you went in, right? So he knew he was not there for a while, and that God gave him back to us. So anyway, God's provision.